Hi everyone, and welcome back to the next episode of Iconic Insights Season 2. So today we are joined by Karen Reilly, and she is the owner of Marketing Collective, and she is with us today to discuss her journey in marketing to date and also her journey into self-employment. Hi everyone, and welcome to the next episodes of Iconic Insights Season 2. So today we are joined by my co-host Sean.
Hello. I wasn't expecting that. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry.
I know normally I don't start with
Yeah.
you, and we're also joined by Karen Reilly, who is the owner of Marketing Collective.
Hello.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for joining us
Thanks
today.
for having me.
You should have been introduced first, really.
I know
Much more important, Karen. Much
I
more
never
important.
introduced myself as well, which is bad. Perfect. So to start, we normally ask our guests a round of random questions.
Oh dear.
Yeah, just-
We did label them quickfire at one stage. They're not too quickfire though.
Okay, great.
So they're just questions now.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Do I have to be honest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ideally. I'll start, Karen. What was your first job title?
Oh. Floor cleaner in Bewley's.
Lovely.
What words do you hate hearing?
Word.
Yeah, they're difficult.
This is really hard. Like lol.
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 Okay.
Like that.
Yeah, I'm with you
Yeah.
on that one. I'm with you on that one. This is another difficult one, to be fair. If you had to change your first name, what would you change it to?
Anything that's not Karen, because the last few years have been very cruel to me.
Yeah, fair. I'll give you that one as well.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
What's your go-to comfort food? Think hangover.
Does coffee count as food?
I'll take it.
Yeah, coffee.
I'll take it.
Coffee.
Favorite type of music?
Don't know what the like Bon Iver, that kind of like calm vibes.
Nice. Name one thing you can't live without. Think you already have, potentially?
Coffee? I was like, my family? No, coffee.
I was mine.
Yeah, you done that, didn't you?
It's also
Yeah,
good.
you were like family. I was like,
Yeah.
wine.
One, yeah.
The best advice you ever received?
In like a work perspective.
I think any.
In general, yeah.
Yeah, I think it can cross over.
So it can be work, but
Yeah.
Probably my dad recently turned 70 and I made him give like 3 bits of advice to like the grandkids and stuff. And probably the best one was if you don't like what you're working at, leave. Do something that you like. He like worked in credit control and stuff. And
Okay.
then probably in his, he'll kill me, 50s, maybe change to be a driving instructor and like won't give up. Like, so
Brilliant.
Yeah, I think it was great advice.
it is great advice.
Yep.
Absolutely. What's that saying? If you do something you love, you never work it in your
Never
life.
worked.
That's
out,
also
yeah.
a lie. You definitely still work.
Do you have any pets, Karen?
Do I have any? Controversial. My parents have him at the moment, but yeah,
Okay.
we have a little Frenchie called Benny.
Brilliant.
Ooh. What has been your favorite age so far?
My favorite age.
So it can only be 1 and 21. Do you know?
Yeah. Whew. I think now this. Can I go for era?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Taylor era. I think now. Just you're a bit more like comfortable, like
Yeah.
confident, like 2 young kids. It's very fun time. Also wild, but like very fun. Yeah, and really enjoy like work and yeah. Now
Excellent. What is your favourite hobby outside of work?
my favorite hobby outside of work, exercise.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Perfect.
Yeah.
The last concert you attended? I was awful at this as well.
Oh my
now.
gosh, just to even remember. What was the last gig I went to? I can't remember. The one I can remember, the National, was great. But that definitely wasn't the last one, so that's a lie. But it was a great gig.
the one you remember.
On Sunday, I hope.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you going to Oasis?
Yeah, on Sunday.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah.
What is the top item on your bucket list?
Top item on my bucket list.
Anything you haven't ticked off yet?
I would like to start my own brand
Okay.
outside of Marketing Collective.
Excellent.
What would it be?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
That's not on the,
I'm like,
that's not on the list either. That's an impromptu one.
Stay tuned for the next episode.
Have you ever won a contest?
definitely have.
Yeah, I'm
Let's be
sure I have.
honest.
I've come second in some good contests, but again, that's we won't talk about that. It's a long time ago.
Life. You're winning life. You're winning life, Karen. That is our quick fire questions wrapped
Okay,
up.
stress.
Yeah.
Phew.
It's typically
Yeah.
hard, to be honest. It's
Yeah.
probably harder than the actual main body of
Yeah,
the chat, but
yeah.
you have had an incredible journey so far.
Thank you.
You have
Wow.
working with brands, and again, I'm going to
Yeah.
name drop if that's okay.
Go for it.
You have worked with brands from Kerry Foods, Diageo, Red Bull, Gino's Gelato, and Fulfill.
Yeah.
What originally drew you to the world of marketing, and how did your career begin?
I think I always just really liked creative problem solving. Can I start with jigsaws?
Yeah,
I always
absolutely,
liked jigsaws. And I guess through school, I definitely was like driven into the more creative side. I've always loved like ads. I'd like notice them. Actually, asked me, did I win something? I won a poem competition, I think from the credit union, for writing one about the Budweiser frogs.
Okay.
Yeah, it was probably about 8, so controversial to be writing about alcohol. But my mom worked in Guinness at the time. So I think it was just always around. I'm like a 3rd generation Guinness person. My grandfather worked there, my granduncle worked there, my mom worked there. I said I'd never work there and it was my first job. So I think I've just always been interested in that world. I spent my 21st birthday doing like training in Guinness on like, I think it was ad training, something like that. I was invited in if I wanted to do it and I really liked it. So I'm probably a bit strange in that way.
Okay.
My mom always used to say at Christmas, she was like, do you want one of the normal books like your sister? Like she'd get like, I don't know, the Marion Keys and whatever. Or she's like, or do you want one of your weird books? Like, so I'd get like Thinking Fast and Slow or like Dragon's Den books or something.
Yeah.
So I think if it's like something that interests you in your personal life, it's probably a pretty good career path to go down.
100%.
So yeah, probably a long-winded answer, but I've always kind of been, I think it's just always been there.
Yeah.
Perfect answer, to be fair, because it
Yeah.
kind of gave us a little bit of background. So 8 years old, you were analysing the TV ads.
Yeah, loved Budweiser apparently.
And obviously throughout your years in marketing, you have worked on, I'd say, some amazing creative projects.
Yeah.
So is there any standout project?
Yeah, I've worked on some cool stuff. I love sport. So when I worked in Guinness, I worked on like rugby and GAA. We did a really cool campaign there behind every great town. So it was working with BBDO, I think at the time in London, of trying to work out like where Guinness and GAA kind of intersected. And we found that like basically behind every gay community, we're in Ireland, there's a GAA club and there's a pub.
Yeah.
So we did like a really cool creative campaign. A good sign as well for me is like I framed that and it's up in my house as like, it's just lovely creative. That was like a really fun one. And Red Bull worked on a really cool project, Metropolis, when it was here. So it was like the first year of a music festival. I was working with like the legend that was John Reynolds and his team, bringing that to life. I guess bringing that to it was the very first time we'd done anything like that in Dublin, a new festival. It was all new to me. I'd come from, I guess in Diageo, I'd worked on Arthur's Day in music. In Red Bull, I'd worked on like the culture and music side, but this was the first time to kind of bring a festival to life. And then we ended, actually, the coolest part of that was we ended the weekend in like Grace Jones's dressing room having champagne with her. Yeah. Before I went to Pygmalion for the rest of the night. But yeah, that was a cool project to like bring to life. And just an interesting weekend.
Yeah, definitely. I
really
can imagine.
fun.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
A lot of obviously these projects, I'd imagine, are very fast paced, Karen. Is there anything that you've taken from these large organizations that you've kind of, I suppose, brought with you to the marketing collective?
Yeah, loads. Probably like some of the best advice I got when I was in Guinness. I was told to like get a commercial head on my shoulders before going headfirst into marketing. So I did that, which was really helpful and has kind of informed how I operate my own. Outside of this as well, I also like trained. So I'm like a life business master linguistic programmer. Like I love the psychology side of it. So that part of me would say from brands I've worked on and businesses and my own brand is like just to actually take time to work out what you're trying to do before you go headfirst into it. I think like if you're a new business owner or an old business owner, you sometimes get so stuck in the doing that you haven't really stepped back to see like what are you trying to achieve, and that's what it's all about. So like who you're trying to talk to, what are you trying to say, what do you want to do. I think people get so stuck in the doing. I need ads, I need a website, I need a whatever, and they don't take the time to probably plan what they actually want to get out of it. So yeah, I definitely like take a bit of time. Get a commercial head is always good. So like if you're not making money from what you're doing, if it's in a business sense, like it's a hobby. So like is it a business or a hobby? And then like taking time to actually work out what you want to get from it and what you want to stand for and like achieve with it helps you inform then the rest of your plan, your website, your targeting, your ads, your consumers you're trying to get to.
It all stems from that,
Exactly, but taking that like moment at the start is really important.
And did you ever find that you kind of had to stop, pause and reflect? Did you ever have kind of a wobble throughout kind of
all the time? I'm self-employed all the time. I went out 2019 I started and then COVID happened in like the March or whatever it was. So yeah, loads of times, but I think that's just normal. Like I've had wobbles employed as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's the same thing. You just have to go with it.
But you've never really drastically changed course from what you originally kind of took the time to reflect and really.
I guess, at the start, I originally thought I'd go into the more coaching side of it and like business coaching. I'd done like sports coaching, business coaching. I really liked the psychology side, but then I didn't even take a break from marketing. I was doing it on the side, kind of contracted back into some of the bigger brands, Fulfill, Red Bull. And I just realized I love it. I really like it. It's like what I read. It's what I'm interested in. And I missed not doing it. So I did a bit of a pivot in that I integrated the coaching learnings and then your linguistic programming and all of that into like advertising and marketing campaign kind of building management rather than the other way around, which was my original thought in what I do.
Which is really interesting. You've obviously done a lot of upskilling. Yeah,
I think it's really important to keep doing. I also just don't really sit still. Like I'm not really like a TV. I'm not a Love Island watcher. I just like I like learning. I like
doing.
Doing. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing, but like upskilling to in your lane.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also trying some mad stuff on the side.
Brilliant.
I have like very random qualifications. I'm like a makeup artist. I'm a neurolinguistic programmer. I'm the sports psychology, like really random.
How do I get the programming piece done for me? Well, can we do that afterwards? Or?
Sure. Also hypnotism. I can do that too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, that is interesting now.
Telling you, upskilling doesn't always happen. When there's me saying stay in your lane, I'm like, I'm a hypnotist.
So you mentioned in 2019 you decided to take the leap into self-employment. So where did that stem from that you just decided I'm going to go do this?
I guess it was probably brewing a while. I had been working with Red Bull a good while and I'd actually left before. I left and went traveling for a couple of months and came back, and I thought at that point I would start something new, but I realised I missed it, went back. Then I kind of got to that I was managing Red Bull for Ireland. I really enjoyed it. But then just kind of wanted a different challenge. I thought originally I'd do more coaching. I really enjoyed that aspect of like helping other people like achieve in their like personal and professional life. It started in kind of career coaching, personal coaching, business coaching. So I was doing that internally with my own team and thought I'd like to do that more full time, but actually really missed the marketing side of it. Does that answer the question? Did I just go?
Yeah, no, it does. Absolutely does. Yeah, it does. I think it was probably always within you, though. Would you agree with that in terms of the entrepreneurial piece?
Yeah. And then I think once you catch the bug for it, like I always, like I said, like the books I read, it was like entrepreneurship, and like I loved reading about like new brands that started. I find it so interesting. I love the psychology of that side of it. I loved, like I watched Dragon's Den for fun. Like I just find it so interesting, like building pitches and that side of it. So yeah, I think I'd always kind of wanted to do it, but also was a little bit terrified to do it. So the time was kind of right. Well, I thought it was right, and then a global pandemic hit. And yeah, I was so lucky. An old lecturer of mine introduced me to like my first clients, who are among the people in this room.
I definitely want to come back and touch on the Red Bull piece, because I think Red Bull are so well known for marketing without marketing, if that makes sense. That's for someone outside of the marketing lingo, obviously.
No, that's pretty good lingo.
But before we do that, I want to just stop and do a little bit of a recap so we can, I suppose, give our audience a bit of a better understanding as to what exactly the Marketing Collective does.
Yeah.
So you obviously offer marketing director services.
Yeah. I guess it's changed a bit probably since I started. So yeah, I guess on paper it's marketing director services, but now I'd work with a lot of other freelancers to kind of try and do an all-encompassing marketing strategy. So I kind of use the coaching training in me to, like I said, I love like creative problem solving. So I'll get businesses who either don't know what their brand is, don't have a brand, or have a brand and don't know what to do with it, and have like a goal that they want to get to but aren't sure how to get there. So I basically try and like unravel that from a client's brain in what they're trying to do, what their brand stands for, how they're different, who's their market, and then build that into a plan for them, like a strategy, a marketing strategy in that like that's executable, if that's a word, and then bring in specialists if they're needed. But also like in this day and age, like use tools that are out there to do that in a much more cost effective way with AI and different things that I can support in different ways. There's some small agencies I work with that would be very specialist in their field. Like designers, I definitely don't say I can do everything, but I can definitely like extract what they're trying to do and like manage the entire marketing service so it's for them to deliver.
Like a campaign management as well as obviously the actual
everything.
brainstorm.
Everything. So like the creative part of it, I definitely love that. But I think the first part, a lot of people that I would meet would say like, we don't know where to start. We think we need LinkedIn ads, or we think we need a brochure, or we think we need whatever. But actually, like I said at the start, the most important thing is kind of stop, take stock and listen to what they're trying to do. Why did they start? What's the opportunity? Who's the competitors? And then try and build a strategy or like targeting based on that.
So no 2 days are ever the same then?
Never the same. Yeah.
And is that something that you think kind of suits you in terms of your personality?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Probably a bit chaotic. I like organized chaos.
Yeah, I feel like you embrace it.
Yeah, I do. I love it. And I love, I guess, working for myself. One of the things I love is like working with completely different industries. So like I've definitely realized since starting that like marketing is connecting the product, the brand, the whatever, and the person who's interested in that. You're the middle man. So it doesn't really matter what the industry is. And that would have definitely daunted me before. I would have always been in like food, beverage, really food and beverage, until I had gone out on my own. And then going out, I definitely realized that it's just about it's about extracting what the person's trying to do and then connecting their brand or product, service, whatever it is, with the people who want or need or have the opportunity to buy that. So yeah, no 2 days are ever the same, especially in different industries. Like you have very different approaches. And also like with the way like digital is changing and social and the new tools, like there's always, you can't learn what the algorithm is. Like it changes all the time.
Yeah. That was actually one of the questions I had, because obviously you worked in the food industry and like the legal sector as well, and it is so different. So is that how you would approach a marketing strategy, is literally like connecting the dots?
Yeah, I guess so. Like I've literally just recently met a new client in a sector I've never worked in, and I guess at the start that would have daunted me. But now I've realized like it's not my job to know their industry inside out. It's just my job to pull from them what they want to do, say where the opportunity is, and then find out how's the best way to reach the people they're trying to reach, and what are the like most cost effective channels, what's going to have the most impact. I don't have to be a subject matter. I couldn't be a subject matter expert in every like food, beverage, whatever it is. You're just trying to find your target audiences and trying to connect without like always pushing a message, like just trying to connect this service or product with the right people.
I think that's brilliant advice for anyone that is probably, even not just started out, but let's say in business a couple of years now at this stage, is that you don't necessarily have to be hyper specific about who your customer is. You can, again, and the honesty about it being daunting at the start, but kind of just rolling the dice and saying, well, it is the same concept behind the scenes.
And I definitely would have thought that I had to stay in food and beverage until, you know, a project came along that you can't say no to, or I'm like, maybe I can learn, or like I'd be very honest with them at the start. And I guess there's a bit of the fake it till you make it at the start, in like you just do it and you get it done and prove to yourself. But yeah, it's actually probably the part I love the most is not just being in one industry anymore. And I think you learn so much. It's like really refreshing, and you can apply those learnings to different industries. Really, like a really good example. There's a guy I follow loads of his stuff, Rory Sutherland, but he had talked about Uber, and he had said, like, you know, the problem Uber solves isn't like getting a taxi quicker. The thing they saw was that by showing you on your phone where the taxi is, it just eliminates the anxiety of waiting. So like, you know, you could take that. I've taken that into loads of other industries, being like, it's not about actually what you're solving. Like, it's not about your, like, the logical service that you're offering. It's like, what problem are you actually solving for them? And then you can target that rather than the logical straight explanation of what they're offering, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Brilliant example as well.
Yeah, so I think just taking things from one industry, you can apply it to another industry, and it's really interesting then. Or like another really good example, again, from the same guy, was if you want to sell a Rolls Royce, he was like, display it at a yacht show, not a car show. Because he was like, you're going after the target audience, not people who buy cars. So if someone has the money to buy a yacht, they're probably in the market for a Rolls Royce as well. So I would apply that at the moment to, you know, clients that have to get creative about getting in front of a new audience. So if I'm trying to sell something and it's really expensive to be at X trade show or whatever, where are my audience actually? Who are, like, take the time to work out who's your audience, find out where they go, what they do, what are they interested in, and show up there. And it's a much more cost effective, more creative way to reach them.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Really, really interesting. What does that look like on a day-to-day basis though for the marketing collective? As in, like, I can imagine it's you're jumping from industry to industry. Like, how do you do it?
To be really organized and like not over promise as well. Like, and also like not take on more than you can handle. And when, I guess what I've learned in the last probably more like recent years is having experts in different fields that you can either, I guess, working on your own, you need someone to bounce ideas off. I definitely need someone to bounce ideas off sometimes, or just like make me better at what I do as well. So on a day-to-day basis, it could be anything. I could be like in a gelato shop in the morning and then on a building site and the rest of the day. But like generally you're on a laptop somewhere, or, you know, it could be literally anything. But I think that's why I love it. I could be designing an ad, writing copy, like whatever it is. But yeah, I think that's why I really like it, because I like the change every day.
Yeah.
There is no 2 days the same. Definitely not.
What would be the most rewarding and most challenging aspect of running your own business?
Ooh, most rewarding.
Where to start?
Deep breath. Most rewarding. I love getting to pick who I work with. Like for me, working with, like, it's all about people. Everything comes back to working with people. So again, it doesn't matter the industry. If I have a meeting or someone refers me on and I meet someone and like we click, or I like their vibe, or I like what they're trying to do, or I genuinely see an opportunity, I love that I get to choose rather than, you know, being told I'm working on something for X period of time. Especially, I think as you go on, if you think there's a better way to do it, a lot of the time you'd be more constrained in a more traditional environment. The bad part, I guess, like I've had 2 kids since I started, and there's 0 maternity leave whenever you're, like, I took my first call, I think 4 days after my second baby was born, and it wasn't like a one-off. I started back like 4 days after
that. Yeah.
So like I literally used to do my calls and with the baby in slings and whatever, like that's fine, it's what I wanted. But I guess it sometimes would be slightly jealous of friends who were swanning around
Coffeeing
on coffee dates that I couldn't join.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. But credit to you.
Yeah,
credit to you. Absolutely not easy. Easy. In terms of, I suppose, the challenge piece that you just mentioned, like a lot of it does come down to time ultimately, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you obviously mentioned that working with different clients is challenging. Working with different clients within different industries is even more challenging. Do you have like a tool that you swear by, whether it's just a traditional calendar, or is there any kind of, I suppose, software that you'd use to kind of keep you straight and narrow, maybe?
Like I use loads of different softwares, but not like in terms of time management. I think it's back to like that coaching piece at the start. I would start every week like religiously and pretty much every day with the priority lists. Like I have all of my clients, but I'd use literally a whiteboard in front of me because I like the ticking off thing.
Yeah.
So I would have like all my clients written up, what are like the urgent deliverables, what projects they're on, and what needs to be done. If something comes in, then at least I know if I can slot it in the time that I have in that day. You just have to be really organized. But overall, I use loads of different tools, but not, I suppose, less for management in that way. I'm probably more old school and.
As soon as you said whiteboard, you had me, Karen. I'm a big whiteboard fan.
Yeah,
Sean
love
actually
it.
has a
Oh, I love it.
I've been banned.
The first
from
thing
having
that's
it.
gone up in my office is the whiteboard.
Like, can we just do a call out to Jer now, live
Yeah.
and direct? Like, he refused for me to have a
Whiteboard.
whiteboard in
Yeah.
the room
Yeah.
because, in fairness, it's a lovely glass kind of, aesthetically pleasing layout and stuff. And I was like, "Where's my whiteboard?" And he was like, "You're not having a whiteboard." And I was like, "What do you mean I'm not having a whiteboard?"
No, yeah. Jared, get him a whiteboard.
Yeah, I had a whiteboard at home on my sitting room wall.
Yeah.
Like for a long time, and I lost that one as well. So
no.
I'm in the market for a whiteboard if anyone knows anyone.
I've loads, but yeah, I find them great. I think like I have kind of my week. I started with it, and then I'll change things on it. I guess more use like my, Google Sheets or whatever to manage on a weekly basis. But I would have like what I need to get done, like what definitely needs to get done. You just need to be a bit organized in that way.
Yeah, no, I think they're.
And I get it done. I feel like it's my boss.
Exactly.
My whiteboard
It
is my
keeps
boss.
you kind of accountable. It does, though, doesn't it? It keeps you accountable.
When you're self-employed, I'm like, woo, the whiteboard told me I have to do it.
And it's always just so convenient. Do you know what I mean? Like you could be sitting there in the evening time, and have a thought. Like, I don't have my laptop in front of me. I don't want to go and open it and go to Google Sheets.
I'd be real conscious of not constantly being on my, I have 2 small kids. I don't want to constantly be on my phone and updating things. So I would, I don't mind if it's that. Mind you, they usually want to get involved.
I was gonna say that's definitely a battle in terms of no, you can't touch that. That's my whiteboard.
And with being self-employed, so was there any like unexpected learnings or like mindset shifts when you did begin the journey? Probably up until now as well.
I suppose you can romance it a bit. Like being your own boss is great, but like I would say only go into it if you're committed to it wholeheartedly. Like it also means that you don't get to, put in 2 weeks leave and you're out of office. Like if I guess I was probably a bit naive going into it in that way. That you're your own boss, and also like you're really passionate about what you're working on. So it's not that you have to do something. Someone doesn't send you through a presentation that you have to do. It's like you want to do it, which is a different perspective on it. But yeah, that's probably a bit different than the romanticized Instagram world of, I have my own brand and I'm off in wherever for 3 months. Like there's like you have the idea, you got to do the work as well.
In terms of, I suppose we're going to get into some of the boring stuff now, Karen, if that's okay.
Go for it.
From an accountancy perspective, when you first set up, there's obviously a couple of different ways that you can obviously set up when you're going self-employed. Did you go sole trader initially, or did you go straight kind of limited company?
No, in fairness, Icon saved my life here. So I went straight to limited company, but I didn't have a clue. Like I did accounting for, I think, 1 term. Like loved maths, loved my honours maths, but accounting not for me. I wasn't into the rules. I was like, can they not just all go on one side of the column? So I definitely was never going to be my own accountant. So yeah, I got recommended Icon and they were amazing. Like just the advice, I didn't have a clue. And to this day, like I didn't have the hunger to have more. I didn't have the time to be focusing on that. Or if I did, something else would have to give. So no, they advised me to go limited company for what I was trying to do.
Okay.
And it's definitely worked out. It's exactly what I wanted. I wouldn't have it any other way. I like it just gives me like flexibility. Like I said,
Starting to sound like us now, Karen.
Yeah, it does. Like it did though, but even like I didn't get to take maternity leave, but you have a bit of a comfort blanket of like you can build up, you can it's just like it's given me the flexibility of what I need. And that's not how I set out or why I went that direction. I got advice for what I was trying to do. But again, like I say, find your subject matter experts and like trust them with it. It's so worth it for
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And it's really interesting because obviously a lot of the people, particularly in marketing, I find actually they typically start on a kind of sole trader basis.
Yeah.
But very quickly, obviously, and like you say, it kind of overtakes the actual work that you want to do.
Yeah.
Trying to keep up with, even whether it's invoicing or something as simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a distraction away from what you're,
like the softwares that I use now. Like I honestly don't know how to work things without it. I just have to sign things and it's done.
Yeah.
Like what a form? What? Like, yeah. Like
Are you sure?
I should definitely know more. Like,
but again, and again, I'm not just saying this because obviously you've been, I suppose, very kind to Icon in terms of your feedback there, but it is definitely, I suppose, when Jer initially set up Icon, that's exactly what he wanted to do, was kind of take that stigma away from, geez, accounting is so difficult, and
didn't have a clue, didn't even know where to. I'd even go a step further. It wasn't even accounting. I was like, I don't have a clue where to start. I want to go out on my own. Who do I talk to?
Yeah,
it was like every aspect of like business setup. I just felt like, honestly, like, again, not saying it because it is you guys, but like I wouldn't have had a clue where to start. And like, I'm not from, my family weren't entrepreneurs. I didn't have that background. I didn't have people to kind of ask how they did it or like to model from. So like I needed someone to just tell me what I needed to do. So I guess the advice I got was great and it's worked out.
Brilliant. Good to hear.
And moving on, so for our client audience, obviously a lot of them do work as self-employed. And one struggle that they may have is how to position themselves clearly in their market. So what would be your non-negotiables? Non-negotiables? Yeah. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Basically to build your personal and maybe your company brand as well.
And should one come first is another kind of addition to that question.
I think like the first thing, it'll go back to that, like just take the few moments to actually decide. So like know what you stand for. So stand for something. So like if you're going to be a vanilla, same as something else, like it's really hard to survive. Just stand for something, know what you're offering, be able to explain yourself. So like the elevator pitch. So even if that's I'm like X, but I'm Y, like that's really helpful. So like help people understand what you offer, what you're selling, why you're different. I'd say like one of the most important things is your personal connection. So like don't neglect like contacts that you have in like building what you're doing, because it'll help you refine what that is at the start as well. But I'd say like just know what you're offering and be really clear about that and brand it as so. But like, and that's like across everything. So if that's your like LinkedIn, your website, your like networking chat, your whatever it is. And like, I wouldn't say I'm a big networker, but actually the personal connections are where 99% of my business has come from, word of mouth over the years.
Which is a great complaint to have, to be fair.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant.
It's the
but
biggest
like,
compliment you can pay.
I would definitely say just like know what you're offering, stand for something, and don't just do the exact same as someone else. Have a bit of a differentiator.
I'm going to put you on the spot here now.
Okay, hit me.
Is there anyone that comes to mind that you feel has done that brilliantly in recent times in terms of...
Like one of the brands I worked on, Fulfill, I think did it amazingly. Yeah. So like they saw, I guess there was a lot of protein bars at the time. They didn't position themselves. Like I think it just shows how important positioning is. So they didn't position themselves as another protein bar. They positioned themselves as a snack for anyone who ever had a chocolate bar and felt a bit guilty about it.
Yeah.
So like just...
And there is a big difference to be fair as well, isn't there?
Yeah, but they could have just as easily gone out and said, we are a protein bar with 20 grams of protein. If they went into the market, we just taste really good. Whereas they went out with they kind of flipped it and went out and said like, if you're buying your chicken fillet roll and your can of Coke, buy this and you'll feel a little bit less bad about you haven't bought a Snickers or whatever. So like they just opened this whole new market by flipping how they talked about what they were offering, and they had the opportunity to go the other way either. So I think that's like, and you've seen it with like, look at some of the big like massive consumer brands now, like Liquid Death, they sell water in a can, but just how they flipped their positioning, their talk, their like marketing pitch has like opened up like a category worth like I don't know, hundreds of millions for them. Whereas if they just went out as we are water in a can, like would we know their name? Probably not.
100%.
So it just shows the importance of getting your differentiation pitch like right. It's worth spending time on it, I would say.
Can I go again?
Yeah. Go.
Sorry, I'm enjoying this.
Okay.
What, and this is, again, I know it's kind of, the answer is going to be, well, how long is a piece of string?
Yeah.
How long is too long to be spending on that? And finances will obviously dictate as to how long is too long.
Yeah,
like if the lights
like,
go off, it's going to be difficult. But
yeah, I think like the most important thing is just getting out there. So like the first thing, like your first iteration of your brand, your product, you know, mine has changed and evolved over time. Like do it to a point where you're happy with like what you offer, get your clients, or like it depends on I guess what industry you're in, but like you can change what you set out at this. What Fulfill started out with isn't where it is now. Like it has changed over the years and evolved to meet different needs, requirements, opportunities.
yeah,
So I think like, yeah, it is how long is a piece of string. I think like it's never going to be perfect, but like done is also better than perfect. So like do something, get it out there and you can fix it. Like the same if you've I guess like, I don't know, it says me without a website, like your website, but like, you know, get one up there and you can change it and fix it. If that's going to be really important for your business at the start, like get it up and then you can fix it as you go, or you can like refine it or whatever it is. But like you could try and perfect it forever. And like the best brands in the world aren't perfect, or the best services offerings, whatever it is, they're not perfect. So I think it's always going to be something you work on. It's like doing a house. You're always going to improve it, refine it. It's never done. Like,
100%. I think that's really solid advice as well, is that done is better than perfect.
Yeah, definitely.
And the last question I'll ask on that point, from a feedback perspective, would you go directly to customers in terms of like kind of a focus group setting for feedback on that? Or would you kind of just let it play out over time and take your learnings from, I suppose,
do you mean so like on your offering?
Yeah, on your offering, or kind of, I suppose, what you're addressing.
People give it to you generally without asking. Like people love to tell you how you're doing. It depends on I would ask for feedback, or like ask how you could change things. Is this like more, I think, as you go, just being like, is this what you were thinking? I guess that's the coaching side of me coming out. But like just kind of check in. It's not for like self-reassurance, but just check in along the way. Like, are you getting what you need? Is there anything, are you happy with that? I know, like, I think if you also like notice, so if you hand something to someone, a proposal, whatever it is, and you'll like just take the look at their body language, like see how they respond to you. Like you might just be like, I noticed when you looked at that second part, you didn't look that comfortable. Was there something in there that you want me to change? And it might be not, like there might be nothing, but I think just being fairly in tune, and like also building, like so important to build good relationships at the start, and people will be honest with you with feedback.
I think what you've just touched on though as well probably helps you to build not just confidence, but obviously helps you to build relationships that much quicker than anyone else, is your ability to literally, you know, directly in front of someone while they're looking at the proposal for the first time, ask them straight away.
Yeah,
you know,
read the room, or just like
it.
if you know, I've done it loads of times where I'm like, I noticed you hesitated when I presented, I don't know, whatever's on slide 3.
Yeah.
Was there something in there? Have I not hit the right point? Like just being honest with them, like just notice that stuff. Whereas I think a lot of people, it's like that thing of like, you listen, a lot of people listen to respond, not to actually listen. So like if you're actually in tune with them and listening, you'll pick up stuff that you'll 100%. Be like, you get feedback without them saying anything.
Exactly. And I think that you've definitely perfected that by the sounds of things in
Hopefully.
terms of 100%. Like there's very few people I think that would have the confidence, let's say early in the process where you're actually at proposal stage. So you haven't even, you know, it hasn't been decided that you're going to work with this client or this client is going to work with you. To address it kind of head on, is definitely a positive.
Yeah, no, thank you. That it's, I guess, I haven't looked at it like that.
Yeah, no, it's, and again, it's just to me, it's the epitome of like the highest level of confidence that you can have in terms of addressing it. So I'm going to give everyone a rest now, and I'm going to let you guys.
So we went through the do's. What would be the don'ts when it comes to your personal branding? Yeah.
Don'ts. Personal branding. So I think like just I'll turn it into positive, but like be consistent. So like don't try, everyone's probably not going to need or like or want what you're offering, selling, doing. You don't have to turn it around. So like don't be offended if someone doesn't want to work with you. If you stand for something, that means that some people, you probably won't be their cup of tea. And you know, there's lots of people brand. There's lots of things that just aren't, there's nothing wrong with them. They're just not for me. They're not my cup of tea. Like I think if you find your space, like hold that space, and it's much better than trying to be everything to everyone. It's just much less strong. It's like, you don't want the person who builds your house to also be the person who does your windows, who does your plumbing, you want the specialists in different areas. So don't be afraid to, you can say that you offer the whole thing, but then you pull in specialists. You don't have to be the person who is top at everything. So I'd say, don't overpromise that you're going to do stuff you can't do. Be honest and say, like, if I can't do it, I'll find someone who can. Like, your job is to solve their problem, not to do everything for them.
Brilliant. Obviously marketing is something that is quite data driven now in terms of views, in terms of, engagements, likes, all that kind of stuff from a digital perspective. How do you kind of set the expectations for a client? Because again, nothing is guaranteed when you're sitting down at the start of a campaign kind of strategy piece. Do you find that you have to come across that a lot, or is it kind of now understood by the business owners that you'd be working with that, look, this is the roll of a dice, but it's a calculated roll of dice?
Yeah, I think I'd just be saying, the more I've gone on is don't count your, it's not count your business results. So whatever you're selling or whatever you're doing, are you getting more leads? Are you selling more stuff? Are you getting more reach outs? Whatever it is, but some of the best brands don't have the best social. People get so caught up on likes, followers. I've been with businesses where they're we just want 20,000 more followers. And a really good point was made to me by an agency I work with, but they were everyone wanted Facebook followers. And they were think your favorite brands. How many Facebook followers do they have? Do you know? They made it into a tiny little thing over on the left that it used to be the big profile thing. Yeah. And now it's not relevant anymore. Do you know, a new platform comes in and you've spent hundreds of thousands on getting all these followers and then they're not even there anymore. So I think focus on, if what you're doing is good, you'll get the business results. So focus on your business data in terms of are you getting the customers? Are you selling more stuff? Do you have more people on subscriptions? Are they staying? If they're not, that's way more important than
how many likes, or
the more ego. I'd call it the more ego driven thing of on your front facing thing. How many likes do you have? Because also you can buy likes if you really want it. There's bots out there, you can buy that stuff if you really want. But I just wouldn't get caught up on that side, and I get caught up on the real data that's making your business money.
100%. Brilliant advice.
And you mentioned it before earlier that you use resources and tools out in the market to support Marketing Collective.
Yeah.
So would there be any key recommendations you're use that?
Oh, well, obviously now, AI, I would use for every, design, refining. But I came across a really, only yesterday I actually came across some guys that I work with, Talio. They're amazing in the AI space. But they just said AI plus human insight is where you get the magic. AI on its own, it's you have to feed it the right information to get the results
in the right format, etc.
In the right format. And if you write in a thing, anyone can write in write me a campaign for whatever, but you'll get a load of nonsense. You have to know how to. It's using Google, and the way I saw it described something, it was it's Google, but on Google you're looking for a needle in a haystack and you do the search, whereas on GPT it'll find the needle and hand it to you. But you have to know what you're typing in to find the thing.
Absolutely.
So I definitely use AI tools a lot. And I think they're incredible in what they, I guess that's the most recent ones that would come to mind. But I also it's not tools, but I just think get out in the market, in what you're trying to do. So whether that's online, find other people who are doing it really well. It doesn't even have to be in your sector. Find people who are doing stuff really well and then learn from them, and also connecting with people. So when I was doing the coaching side, I used to, I met Caroline Courage. She's a performance coach. She's incredible. She worked with Limerick for years and she's done stuff, I don't know, was it with the Lions or the Irish rugby team? She's incredible. But she had said if you're interested in it, she was when you travel, she was go meet experts in whatever you're interested in. She was reach out to loads of people and someone will usually come back. So we went on holiday a couple of years ago to South Africa and I had reached out to a guy, Dr. Botha. I don't know if I'm saying it's Dr. Yanni Botha. But he had been like worked in performance with the South African rugby team when they won the World Cup. So like I met him for a coffee in Stellenbosch, and he gave me like ideas on like how to like build mindsets and high performance, and like I got some like amazing nuggets from him that then I used in completely other contexts.
Yeah.
And the same Caroline had said to me, she in New Zealand had gotten stuff from like All Blacks coaches that then you're in a presentation and you're like, well, actually, I was talking to whoever in the All Blacks backroom team, and you're able to apply it in a different thing. We used it in Guinness all the time. I remember we did, because I worked in the rugby side, and Mike Catt came in and did a talk, and I used to use like some of his insights from a completely different sector in other like marketing applications. So like I would say, like, I'm gone off piste on your question, but like, don't just use digital tools, like talk to people, find mentors, and then apply things from other industries that might be suitable for you. Like you never know where a conversation is going to go that might bring something like an insight for you to apply in your own business.
Definitely. That's really good advice.
100%.
I've actually never heard anything along that. It's always like, oh, AI and digital and everything. So it's nice to not hear that.
A bit of people.
Yeah.
A bit of people in there.
And what I love more is the courage to actually do it. Do you know, everyone can turn around and say, oh, I'd love to reach out to this person, but actually going and reaching out to them. And especially when you're on a holiday, do you know, the commitment.
My husband went golfing. I went for coffee with a strange man, but it was fine.
Isn't it brilliant though, in terms of like you actually, that's like a standout moment for you in terms of like learning.
But just like deadly insight. I still have like he literally drew like a diagram of how he like, you know, worked with the South African World Cup winning team. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of, I don't know, was it a mindset thing? I still have the notebook, but do you know, I used that in things after being like, this is actually how, do you know, the top, no one can argue with that. And it also just, I think storytelling is so important. So like it allows you to, instead of just telling people what to do, to kind of tell a story like of why it will work for them and then give them the solution.
100%.
100%.
Cool.
The market is obviously evolving massively. What kind of emerging trends do you see that independent professionals, so freelancers, self-employed people that are kind of starting out now, what should they, I suppose, be paying attention to, and how can they take advantage of them?
Can I say AI again? Definitely AI. But I think just the market's changing. Like it's, I guess now in this day and age, it's less about going into a job for life. You know, there's a lot of chopping and changing. There's a lot of I think like the romanticized thing, like I'd said at the start, but like there is this romanticized Instagram or like influencer life of like it's easy and it's whatever. But I'm like, you can be sure that the ones behind that are working really hard. You know, like to get one piece of content is a lot of edit. You guys know it's a lot of editing, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of like ideation, storyboards, travel, whatever it is. So I think like it's probably easier than ever to start your own thing, but it's a very crowded space as well.
Yeah, in terms of now.
Yeah, I like AI tools definitely. Like you can't argue. Like they're changing everything. Like from, you know, how you get your ideas to how you execute them to how you manage your time or get inspired or whatever. But it's not everything. You still definitely need the like human connection, human aspect parts that I would say.
I asked this question as I've got deep research going on in my pocket through ChatGPT. Like I am like an avid, like ChatGPT is probably like I would say the person I spend the most time with nowadays. Do you use Blaze? Have you seen Blaze AI?
No.
Blaze, I really like Blaze. Like I know there's loads of them out there, but Blaze is like you kind of give it a prompt, but you can really be descriptive in terms of like, I want you to create an image that has this, and this, and
it doesn't have the dodgy images.
No, it doesn't.
Okay,
it's actually quite high quality. Like because I know some of them are like, I know we've done a little bit of a mess in the office.
Strange.
Like, there was. Well, will we go into that story?
Absolutely.
Probably not. There was a trend kind of happening. I'd say it was maybe 6 months ago now at this stage in the office where everyone was kind of putting their profile picture from our signatures in onto ChatGPT and asking it to kind of, you know, make changes.
Okay,
So mine obviously had to be strawberry related because I'm
fair,
the Wexford roots.
Well, it's better for the other thing that Wexford stands for.
But you know the way, like it distorts your face once you ask it to do something. But no, Blaze AI is probably a standout for me. What's a standout for you?
I've used Blaze before. I thought it was good.
Is there any kind of standout AI tool?
I don't really know. I've used the AI generator in Canva as well. I thought that, and actually Adobe is getting quite good as well.
I think that's the scary part, though, isn't it? That these
Yeah.
are good now, but imagine what they're going to be like in 5
It's
years'
like a
time.
whole new gamma I use a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So like I
Very
find that
good.
really helpful.
Like
It can
that
be
used-
dodgy as well, but
Yeah.
like really helpful for like a quick polish on things
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. That used to be something that I used to dread as well, was like sitting down to actually do a presentation before you do the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas that kind of just takes that brain.
And I think, say, like
capacity
for
away.
the independent professionals or something before, like it would be cost prohibitive to go to a designer to be like, here's my pitch for
Yeah.
whatever. Can you design it up? That'd probably be, or it'd be a big investment up front before you've gotten a client. Now you can pay whatever, 180 quid for a year and have
Yeah.
this tool at your, and you put in, you know, your basic information and it'll just make it look really professional. So
Yeah.
again, that's why I'm like, I don't think you can just be like, draw me up a proposal. Like you have to have your information there to a degree, and then it can just, the bit that took a really long time or was really expensive, I think it makes it really accessible. So like, especially if you're starting out, I'd say like use the tools that are there,
Yeah.
or find out what are the best. You know, there's constantly new ones in whatever your speciality or area is.
100%.
Um,
I think the accessibility piece is huge. So like you say, it's having access to kind of, and even using it as someone to bounce an idea off.
yeah.
In those
Yeah.
instances where you haven't got someone, you know.
Absolutely. And being
of
aware
confident.
though that it's gonna, you know, it's generally very positive. It'll tell you you're great and your idea is great
That's
and
what I'm doing
whatever.
wrong.
Yeah. So like I think just knowing the parameters right now.
And balance, yeah.
Yeah.
Balance and perspective.
Okay, so for Marketing Collective, what are your goals over the next year or 3?
What are my goals? I guess I'm really enjoying the client base I'm with now. I've like definitely expanded my like sectors and areas, and definitely expanded like team wise, like freelancers, and which has allowed me to expand my offering. And that's kind of dictated by going into different pitches and seeing what's needed. So I'm really enjoying that. Also, it's really I find it just really interesting learning about new sectors that I didn't know anything about. And like one of the things I love the most is just like working with high performing people. So if you pick a food brand or a construction or whatever, I like to work with like people who are just like at the top of their game and like aren't settling and just want to do better.
I think it elevates everyone around them too, doesn't
It's
it?
just so like it gives you such energy being around that. It used to be like in Red Bull, you know, you were around like musicians at the top of their game. In Guinness, it was like sports people at the top of their game. And now I'm like in companies, like I don't want to be with ones who are like happy just to settle for where they are or be mediocre. It's like just really cool to be with companies that have like are real visionaries in what they want to achieve and do, and like see opportunities and actually do them. And then, I'd love to like use all of the experience that I have to launch something myself as well. Like I've come from being working in that fulfill space as well for a really long time. So I've learned loads about that side of it. And I just find it so fascinating, and it'd be so interesting to create your own thing and then like
from the very beginning.
grow it. Yeah. Like absolutely wild to do as well. Don't know where I'm getting the time to do this.
You'll find it.
But I definitely, that'd be like in the longer term. I would love to do that.
I'm actually so excited. I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to find
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I want to
where.
invest.
Yeah. We've been down a few roads and come back up them, but we're on to a few ideas.
I suppose we are approaching kind of the latter stages of it now. What, as a kind of final note, would you give to listeners that are considering the move into self-employment for the first time? So picture your very corporate background and kind of...
Yeah. Where do I look? I'm like, do it. It's the best thing I did ever. And like, I was so lucky to be supported by you guys at the start, and Jer within there at the start. Like, he was amazing. Like, and like find mentors and stuff like that at the very beginning. But I'd also say, like, don't take it on lightly. Like, you get all the good stuff, but you have to do the work. And like, it does mean that you're not really off. It's like you put on your out of office when you go away, but like, there's no one answering.
Yeah.
Those like clients don't really wait around either. So I would definitely say like, do it, but just go into it like knowing what you're committing to as well. But like, there's no ceiling on then what you can do, which I love.
Yeah, brilliant. One of the things that I wanted to ask you, Karen, and you touched on it in terms of when you go out to, let's say when you go in to meet a client about a new potential project, obviously you could come away from that and it's like, oh, I've never dealt with someone, let's say in a 3D animation or whatever the scenario may be. would you like go and headhunt someone, or would you kind of use the likes of Upwork, Fiverr for kind of outsourcing certain
Yeah, I
types of
use
projects?
Fiverr like a bit for where it depends what it is. So I would use Fiverr for like say design concepts. I've used them for bigger ones for like point of sale design and like not as much brochures and stuff like that, but like working with some of the US team, like when you need a quick turnaround, like
Yeah.
I find that amazing. If you find the right people. Packaging design, actually, like one of the final packaging designs basically came from like the 99% of it came from a Fiverr design and then refined in-house in like some of the biggest corporations in the US.
I think that's brilliant. Like that must
So
give an
freeing.
off. Yeah.
It's
And
so freeing.
it should provide a lot of comfort to anyone that is looking to go out on their own, as to
Yeah.
like, no, you don't need to be a graphic designer or
No,
marketing
no.
expert. Like there's
No,
resources
like you
out
can
there.
definitely get help. But also I'd say like that you just don't have to be you don't have to be a subject matter expert in every field that you just have to be it in your field.
Yeah.
So like I would come away from like there was one 2 weeks ago I came away from a pitch and like literally as soon as I get into the car I was just leaving voice note after voice note because if you're really listening to what they're trying to do, like I said, it's about connecting like a product, a brand, a service with people who want to buy it. So your job is like the problem solving in between. It's not how to make, you know, a certain product better or like what to, well, sometimes it is how to position it, but it's just they are coming to you because they don't know how to explain what they do or whatever. So once you can get insight from them of what it is, you can start to come up with the idea. You don't need to be a like subject expert in anything to be able to be the in-between person, if that makes sense.
It's the best definition of marketing that I've ever heard, to be honest, because it's so simplistic in terms of product or service, people interested.
Yeah, you're the connector.
Draw the bridge, like,
yeah, exactly. And then I think as you get into, someone else said to me recently, like in the digital perspective, it was someone who like they will get your brand in front of the right eyeballs. So like if that's what you do in terms of ads, being like, okay, I'm not an expert in ads, but I know how to, I know how to set them up, I know how to run them, I know how to manage them. But if there's an expert who at like the most cost efficient way, they're not going to write your copy, you give them all the details, they will tell me how to get my ad in front of the people I'm trying to get most cost efficiently. I still have to tell them who the person is. I have to tell them what I want to say. I have to give them copy, creative, whatever it is. But their expertise is making sure that I spend the least amount of money and get the most amount, and that they'll like come back and tell me why that's working or like what I need to change or if my copy is not working. So I think, yeah, like to add to it, it's like knowing where yours ends and where to bring other people in 100%. As well.
100%. I've one more question to go back onto, if that's okay. Before, do you want to do the dilemma at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Worried?
In fairness, now that you got through the quickfire questions, you're going to be more than able for the dilemma. This one is back to the Red Bull piece.
Okay.
Because again, I've always been fascinated by how they do things in terms of, you know, some of the events that they would sponsor, like whether it's the cliff diving or, you know, some of them is like it's dangerous, but it's it's real kind of, I suppose it does exactly what Red Bull does in terms of that feeling. Yeah. Kind of, you know, lifts you.
I have a good cliff diving story.
Do you? I was gonna say, what does it look like in terms of like, how did you get to cliff diving? How did you get to
chaos? No, it starts like months in advance. We had like a really strong team. Do you know, like we had like your location hunters, you have your like ops people, you have your media, your PR, you have your sports management, you have all of that. But still, I think it was, did we have cliff diving on Saturday, Friday? Can't remember. The day before, we realized that in the shipment that came over, the tape that they, like the grip tape that goes on the podium, hadn't come with the shipment. Which like when you're up at whatever, I don't know, is it 90 foot or whatever, whenever you're up that high and it's really windy, it's pretty important when you're doing a handstand, like before you jump in. And also it was going to be televised on Red Bull TV. So like really important that the branding looked, we couldn't just stick on, you know, like black masking tape all over the logos. Also that wouldn't be great for grip. So I was like ringing around all the skate shops, trying to find this like clear grip tape. Couldn't find it anywhere here. Found it in the UK. I think it was like Cornwall. So this guy was going to a party. He worked in a shop. This was like maybe 3 p.m. He told me he'd bring it with him to the party he was going to, gave me the address of the party. I got a courier to go to the party and collect it from him. I like got a taxi from the office to my house, grabbed my passport, text my husband on the way. And I was like, I won't be home.
No way.
Had to go to the airport, flew to Heathrow, met him the next morning. He drove then from wherever it was, Cornwall, to London. I was like, what will the cost to courier this thing? So he drove to London. I met him in a car park at Heathrow and then stayed overnight, got the red eye back at like 6 a.m, got to site maybe 7:30 and like handed over the tape and the event went ahead. So like, I'm sure like, I don't know what we would have done without it, but I literally arrived and people were like, where were you last night? Were you mitching off? I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Say nothing.
Oh, crazy though.
Yeah. So like, yeah, they're an amazing brand to work with. Like I'd always say, like I learned like traditional marketing in like Diageo and like it was incredible. Like what Guinness do is incredible. Like I literally said I frame pictures on my wall, but then with Red Bull you kind of learn it all inside out as well. Like the events are the marketing. Like at the end of the day, it's actually very little about the product. They're a marketing machine and like how they do things like taught me so much. I adore the brand and like everything they do. I just think they push it like to the absolute extremes.
They've kind of completely flipped the script on marketing, in my opinion.
They made up, and that's the other thing I'd say. Like if someone's going on their own, like sometimes following the rules isn't the right thing to do, and like the most incredible stuff comes from not following. Like I'd say your Liquid Deaths, these like new brands that have come out and like grown there's a new protein bar I think it's only in the US, David, like what they're doing, it's just like flipping how they talk about what they do, and they just scale so fast when they do it. So sometimes it is about breaking I think that's what Red Bull definitely taught me, is sometimes it's not following the tried and tested. If you have something, like it's worth testing it to see if it might work, because sometimes the craziest things do.
And having the belief that we'll get there eventually. It doesn't have to be right the first time. It's like trial by error almost.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's fascinating. So even someone as big as Red Bull, there's always a couple of...
Oh, yeah, but like, you don't see any of that.
But you make it,
don't
work.
See any of
that's the difference, isn't it? You make it work.
That was a fun 24 hours.
So we'll move on to our, I suppose, contractor dilemma.
Okay.
And then we will unfortunately let you go, Karen, because it has been phenomenal. Like there's an awful lot of learning there for anyone that's listening. So
Great.
Perfect. So the contractor dilemma is I've recently made the leap from a corporate role into self-employment, and I'm finding it difficult to switch gears. So confident in my skills, but suddenly I'm not just doing the work. I'm responsible for my branding and finding my next client too. So my question is, how do you build your professional identity, especially when so much of your business is built around you, and how do you avoid burnout while doing it as well?
Tough question.
Yeah,
that's really hard. Yeah. I think you have to like diary in the time to do it, and it's something I'm still like 6 years later, like working out the time to do. I'll have spurts where I'm like do loads on LinkedIn, and then clients get busy and I amn't amazing on it, and I'm I think you're always comparing yourself to, oh my God, they do it amazing. But I'm like, it's like anything, if you don't plan the time in for it, it won't happen, whether that's the gym or, making your food or writing your stuff on LinkedIn or marketing yourself or going to networking events. So I think like holding some time to do that, even if it's something small. And also, again, this like done is better than perfect. So like one post is better than no posts. It doesn't, if you don't post every 2 days, that's fine. But like one post, I need to practice more what I preach. But like doing some is better than doing nothing. Burnout, yeah, definitely. I burn out all the time. I think you just need to have boundaries. I have 2 small kids, so like at a certain time of the evening, I have to put down my phone or laptop, but like I will get back on it after they're in bed. So I think if you're up for that, like they obviously are, they've made the leap, like it's different than being in the corporate world. You don't turn off not in the corporate world, I didn't either, but like when it's your own thing, you are the brand. So like it's hard to, I guess, make that switch in your head. But I think you do have to put in things to manage that. So like whether that's your hour in the gym, or you are taking a break at lunchtime, or taking a couple of days holidays, or whatever it is. But I'd say as well, like in their dilemma, focus on the clients you do have. Don't always work. Like I think where it's ingrained in you and you're in a corporate that like you constantly have to have work. That's kind of the thing when you work for yourself. You might be really busy for a while and then you might have a quiet period, and that's okay. Like ideal if you can plan when those quiet periods are going to be. But like I found that really hard, getting comfortable with like absolute chaos, being as busy as I've ever been. And then a project finishes. Like I've been so lucky that something has always come to fill this space, or I generally would have something like lined up. But also there has been times where I'm like in the gym at 1 o'clock on a Tuesday because I've no calls for the next 2 hours. And I'm like, this is uncomfortable, but also great. That's why you kind of do it.
Yeah.
So I think, you get freedom with it, but you just have to learn how to get comfortable with maybe changing your routine a bit.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Balance, flexibility, staying sane.
Yeah.
That's kind of...
I'm working on it.
You've mastered it, to be fair, Karen. Again, we want to thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
No, it's been phenomenal. I think there's an awful lot of learning there for any of our, I suppose, audience, particularly those self-employed, to take from. So
sorry, one thing I do want to make sure is if anyone does want to reach out to you, Karen, and learn about the Marketing Collective, where
you're going to have to be a
so?
big brand first.
The question I dread. I'm like, my website, that's a work in progress. Karen at marketingcollective.ie is the best place to reach me. I won't give out my phone number. But yeah, Karen at marketingcollective.ie. I will have a website before the end of this year. And LinkedIn. You'll find me on LinkedIn.
Brilliant. Perfect. Gonna do the wrap up.
Yes, so that's it for another episode of Iconic Insights, and thank you so much again, Karen.
Thanks guys, it was great.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.